Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's Waiting and Watching. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to let this train go by, because on the other side of the train tracks here is a road, or a path, a trail, and we're going to go along it. Just nice and slow. We'll take our time. We're not in any rush. And we'll see what we can see. There we go. Just head right along the trail here. Let's see. We don't want to go at a full gallop. We can slow down a little bit. A little more. There we go. A friendly trot, possibly. Morning. And we'll just go along the trail here and see. Oh, it looks like we'll cross a bridge. There we go. We'll just go along, looking out at the weather, the nature around us. Oh, that's nice. Here, we'll wait a minute. We found something very pretty. Matter of fact, let's get a little. Technically, this would be a self-portrait, wouldn't it? Okay. Back to the trail. Away we go. We'll just trot along. Oh, we'll need to move over. Let's make room. We'll be polite. There, we'll move over to this side. Morning. A harmonica. Out we go. Go right along on this side. There we go. We'll just look out. That's all. Let's just take a moment, see what's around us. And look at the weather, look at the nature, the sights that we see. That's pretty. Yeah. I'm back to it. Just out here enjoying our time, going right along the trail. Wow. There is something about that. It's unfortunate. It's a little mixed feelings. I feel bad that we've disturbed the animals and rustled them up into the air. But it is a nice moment. The sound of all those wings taking off. It's bittersweet. It's one of those incredible moments. There was a time when I was out taking pictures of wildlife, as I do, and I hadn't heard any bird noises, no calls, nothing like that. I just heard It wasn't even like I heard the wings of the bird that flew right over. It was several birds, and they'd gone right over my head. I hadn't seen them. I didn't know they were there, but they were absolutely silent. I heard the wind. I heard the air pressure from their wings beating down. It wasn't the wings themselves. It wasn't that like what we heard. We heard a lot of flapping. It wasn't that. It was just the air pressure change. It was the coolest thing. I'd wish I'd been recording audio at that moment. It was something that I've not experienced since. They must have been just grazing right over my head, but I never actually saw the birds that were there. It was when I was out one morning in Wyoming, sitting by the water recording, getting a time lapse of the sunrise over the water, and I wasn't, because it was a time lapse, I wasn't doing audio specifically, so I didn't, and I wouldn't have had a microphone pointed up in the air. But just that moment was, I remember it very clearly. It's been several years now. It was very early. That's another reason why I did not see the birds that I'm talking about, was that it was before the sunrise. I'd gotten out there, so it was also very dark still. But man, the sound of it. Excuse me. Let's see. Why don't we head over this way towards the trees? That's nice. Yeah, let's wait a moment. We don't have to go hard all the time. We could just relax a little bit here. Let's see, I think I like it better where we can see a bit of these blue there. Not too low. Just a little forward from here now. But we'll open it up to a nice wide angle. How about that? Quiet now as we go by the deer. There we go. How about that? Just nice little moments here and there as we go out, walking the trails, riding the trails. We're not the ones walking. We have our horse for that. Let's go left, into the trees themselves. There's something very, very nice about being in a forest. It's interesting, the different types of forest as well. no, something I never really considered. We had forests where I grew up in Georgia, and later on the North Carolina mountains. Those were very similar. And then moving out west, I've been in some of the forests, and it's a bit different. You do get, it was more difficult to be off trail in those forests in Georgia. The underbrush. I don't know. This is speculation on my part because I've not looked it up or done any kind of research, but it might be that it stays so wet on the East Coast because there's a lot of rain that it prevents a lot of forest fires. They don't spark up nearly as easily. And that's something out here that you get, which would burn away the underbrush. All of the small sticks and twigs and leaves and pine straw, a lot of pine straw. And here you get a bit more clear. There's not as many forests, but it's something else that I'd like to go. And if I'd thought about it, I would have said that there were only 2 types of forests, and that's only because I know about the big redwood forests over in California. Something I'd like to visit one day. Yeah. But that is a site that it's all trade-offs. It's all different. It's very interesting. It's not something you would see, these kind of mountains, cliffs, rocks. Wouldn't get a whole lot of those back east. Oh, now that's not. Oh, I don't think we've seen you before. Not recently. Oh, look at that. Look at you. You're gorgeous. Those tusks, wild boar. Wow. Oh, look at that. Okay, we've got a pair of them. They're facing opposite directions. Let's see. Oh, again, we have our favorite little blue flowers here. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. I think that is going to do it. I think we're going to go out on us walking this way. It was a little bit different today. Gotta mix it up. Gotta try something new. Don't want to get bored. Sometimes it helps, especially with the majority of what we're out here waiting and watching to see with wildlife or just nature in general. A different perspective will help for sure. And so sometimes it's nice to just take a different approach to it. Just go for a ride. It's not the usual, but sometimes it can reveal things that you would not have seen from you if you just stick to the same perspective every time. Look at that. Look at that. I think that's the best thing we can go out on right there. A lovely stream and us on our horse. How about that? Well, thank you for joining me on this ride today. If you come back next week, we might be back to something more of the usual with some waiting and watching. And see you then.